Hey friends, welcome back to Magus of the Frog. The qualifier weekend for Pioneer slash Explorer Best of 3 is upon us, so I wanted to give it a try. Pioneer is not a format I have plenty of reps in, and we aren't even qualified yet, so this is me testing the deck concept before spending all day Friday trying to qualify for the event. We are playing Dimir Merfolk, or Dimirfolk as I like to call it, and the good news is that we are building upon the already existing Dimir Aggro deck that exists in Pioneer. So the formula slash concept of the deck is not entirely untested in the metagame. In fact, earlier this week, I was playing a Dimir Merfolk version of this in Standard, and that was me trying to not only just understand the play patterns here, but seeing the power differences between the standard version of that and now the pioneer version of this. So the differences between this current deck and the already established Dimir Aggro deck in Pioneer is that for our blue creatures, we're playing Merfolk, whereas they are playing a lower curve. So they'll play stuff like Spyglass Siren, Mockingbird, Fairy Miscreant, all of these really cheap blue creatures that really help them curve out into ninjutsuing Kaito, as well as getting a lot of value from their Enduring Curiosity by having a pretty wide and evasive board. For us, the similarities is that yes, we are playing Kaito and Enduring Curiosity for our top end here. In fact, the interactive spells that we have are very similar in terms of card count. We're playing 4 copies of Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, as well as some copies of Spell Pierce and Go for the Throat. This is something that you'll see very similar to the Dimir Aggro list. And in our creatures, Floodpit's Drowner is the only creature that we really share. And the benefit of going for a larger curve instead of the very low curve of Dimir Aggro is that one, we get to play with these flash creatures. So even though we have a larger curve, we get to play at our own tempo because we're playing Merfolk. The one drop that we have doesn't have flash, but it is unblockable, making it a great candidate for a guaranteed Kaito ninjutsu. And then we are playing with Hexcatcher in order to not only add a Lord effect to all of our creatures here, as well as our Mutavaults, but it also introduces a very minor but sometimes important counter target non creature spell dimension to the deck. And then we are playing Flood Pit's Drowner just like the Dimir Aggro decks, but we also have Merfolk Trickster, which is not as strong as the Drowner because it doesn't put stun counters on something. But since we are playing Tempo deck, it is perfect in a strategy like this. Then, of course, we are playing the Tidebinder, just great utility in this sort of flash deck. It allows us to play a bigger body in terms of our creatures, and we get to do it at instant speed. But really what's important is the ability to counter activated or triggered abilities. So that's the deck in its nutshell. We are basically a flash tempo deck with some great interaction here. Very fun to play in my opinion, and I think the strategy is something that will stand the test of time. This is a very popular type of play style, and I've come to enjoy it a lot. So the sideboard here, I'm just testing out different cards to go against various strategies. We'll go over them as we play the games and they become relevant. But my goal today, like I said, is to just get used to playing the deck. I'm going to be playing it a lot on Friday, trying to qualify for the weekend. So my goal really is just to understand, are we playing the appropriate sideboard cards? Are we playing the appropriate number of lands? And is this the appropriate number of interactive spells? Or should I start reducing some from these creature bases here? All right, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to be playing in the traditional Explorer event. That's 5 rounds. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Really appreciate ya. So hit that like button, drop a comment, and your subscription would be heavenly. Nevertheless, just happy that you're here. So I'll see you round one. Let's get it. Okay, round one here. We're on the play. Lucky us. Ooh. Well, this is a turn 2 Hexcatcher into Tidebinder, and then eventually a Curiosity. We'll try it. Hopefully get some removal spells here, or something to help us interact. Okay. Blue-white. Well, I'm gonna put this on Merfolk. And then I think I'm just gonna use our mana efficiently here and play the Hexcatcher. Okay, so we'll flash this in. We'll see if we get a removal spell. So instead of countering it, they are doing something else by ending the turn. So we'll Thoughtseize here. Let's see, I don't care about their counter spell. And Strict Proctor. I think the more problematic thing here is Wandering Emperor, but I'm gonna go with Strict Proctor. And then we'll go Mutavault and pass. Okay, it looks like our opponent's just going to pass here. I'm just going to pass as well, and if they use their mana, I'm just going to cast this Enduring Curiosity. Alright, well, while the coast is clear, we're going to do Enduring Curiosity. Alright, did they get a removal spell? They can keep up Wandering Emperor here, but we can either Tishana's Tidebinder it, or we can Spell Pierce it. Okay, I think I'm going to Spell Pierce here. Draw 2 cards. Ooh, and a Thoughtseize is great. I think I'll do that now. I would love to see what they have. Okay, another Wandering Emperor, so let's just get that. Okay, they're gonna play a Strict Proctor here. And then they get a Lotus Field, but they have a Impulse. And... okay. Well, I can double Mutavault here. And then... attack. We'll draw 2 cards. Tricky. I think we'll definitely attack with 1. And yeah, let's attack here. Okay, we get it for 4. We draw a card. And Flood Pit's Drowner. Okay. So I think on their upkeep is when I will Merfolk Trickster the... oh wait, I guess the Merfolk Trickster would get countered by doing the strict proctor, because of the strict proctor, I mean. So maybe I shouldn't have attacked with the Mutavault there. Okay, they have mana. It's just a matter of, are they going to do anything with the mana? Ooh, here comes a Teferi. Okay, I'm tempted to just play the Trickster here. We are not going to get much value out of it because the enter the battlefield is going to get countered. But it is an extra attacker. Then I think I want to use the Tidebinder on the Teferi. So we need 5 mana. Okay, that gets countered. Ooh, I like Watery Grave here. Yeah. So we need 5 mana. So let me go Mutavault here. And then I'll just attack them because I'm planning to Tidebinder the Teferi. Okay, perfect here. I think we're just gonna pass the turn. Okay, so we'll counter that. And we'll pay for that. Okay, here's a Dream Trawler. So they can give it hexproof. So I can go Flood Pit's Drowner. Okay, let's start with go for the throat. And then we're gonna go Flood Pit's Drowner. We'll pay 2 here. Okay, well, it's gonna end up tapped anyway, so we get to do the thing here of attacking with Mutavault. Okay. So I guess they're using Lotus Field to just get more mana. So Damping Sphere is good. Test of Talents can be good against their counter spells. But really, it's their Planeswalkers that are a problem. Okay, so I think I still want Spell Pierce. Fatal Push can be good. I think go for the throat. It is the one thing that can get their Dream Trawler. Hmm. Okay, well, I think Merfolk Trickster is maybe the least impactful creature that we have. I can go down some number of Fatal Push and then bring in Brazen Borrowers because this is good against Planeswalkers. Okay, let's try this for now. So we're going to be bringing in some Brazen Borrowers and Damping Spheres. All right. Okay, so game two, I think I like this one. We get to start off with a Thoughtseize, and then turn two, we can keep up a Trickster or just play the Herald. Okay, so we'll do Watery Grave and then Thoughtseize here. So it looks like they need some blue mana. I think I'm just gonna get the Teferi here while we can. Well, I guess Impulse helps them find whatever they need, so let's get that. Okay, we'll go Dark Slick Shores and then just use our mana efficiently here by playing the Trickster. Okay, they still don't have blue mana. Okay, so play this. Attack here. And then I'll pass the turn, keeping up Tidebinder. Okay, they're gonna copy our Watery Grave. I think that's fine. We could have Tidebinder that as well. Okay, but I think I'm gonna copy, target the Thespian stage here instead. Okay, so now they don't have colored mana and we get to Enduring Curiosity here, drawing 2 cards. We have Fatal Push for a Strict Proctor. We can Otawara the Teferi, but we can also just kill it. Okay, so they can end the turn here, but thankfully we have the Vodalian Hexcatcher, so I'm gonna play the Mist-Cloaked Herald. And then I'm going to kill Teferi here, and then attack here. And if they cast Discontinuity, I can... Ooh, this is even better. I can Vodalian Hexcatcher here, and then counter this, sacrificing our Herald. So Teferi's down, we get to draw a card, they're at 7, and we have a lot of counter with the Hexcatcher here. Yeah, good game. We would have just either animated the Mutavault there or sacrificed our Trickster in order to counter that Sunfall. And even if they played Discontinuity, they would have got countered there. I think what they would have needed was something like Supreme Verdict. Alright, sweet. Not bad. See you next round. Okay, round 2 here. We're on the draw. This looks pretty good. We've got a curve of Thoughtseize into Hexcatcher into either Ninjutsu Kaito or Keep Up Tishana's Tidebinder. Here's a Kumano. So an aggressive deck here. That means Merfolk Trickster would be pretty good. Let's see if we can get a threat out of their hand by playing Thoughtseize here. Ooh. So no threat from them. But I think Callous Sellsword is probably the scariest card there. Ooh, and they found a Monastery Swiftspear. So I think we'll just Merfolk Trickster here. And then... yeah, I think it would have to be Merfolk Trickster here. Ooh, okay, another Swiftspear. I might have to let them connect here. Because they can just infuriate something. Yeah, I'm gonna go Merfolk Trickster here, tapping down the 2/3 Swiftspear. And then I think I have to block here. It forces them to do Infuriate. Or do I just play Kaito? I think no blocks. Let's try it. Okay. So I can attack here. Put Kaito. And then I think it would have to be stun counters.
I learned something out of the shadows and into the fray.
Yeah, I think it unfortunately has to be stun counters. I mean, it basically shuts off this attacker for a while. We do lose the Kaito. But I have Trickster plus Hexcatcher next turn. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of damage. But it's not lethal. Oh, I guess they had Infuriate. Yeah. So the Rakdos Prowess deck seems to be very strong here. So we're gonna have to bring in... let's see. Maybe Test of Talents? Yeah, Fatal Push. I don't know how good Thoughtseize is in this matchup. Is it good? Because the only thing I can think of bringing in is Test of Talents and Brazen Borrower. And then Thoughtseize, we basically have to get a card out of them that would represent more than 2 life. I want all of these. Maybe Spell Pierce might not be the play here because I'd rather use our mana for these 2 drops. Okay, let's try it with only 2 Thoughtseize. Okay, game 2. On the play. Okay, I can keep this. It's not at... I would love a Fatal Push, but having Go for the Throat plus Merfolk Trickster I think is pretty good. Okay, I can play Underground River here and pass. Okay, here comes a Monastery Swiftspear, and I think I'm still just going to Merfolk Trickster here and use our mana efficiently. Okay, so I can do Mist-Cloaked Herald plus Go for the Throat. I'll just no attacks here. I think we're gonna be in the defensive for a bit. Okay, no development of their board here and no attack. So I'm gonna use our mana efficiently here. We are gonna take 1 damage from it, unfortunately. Okay, and then here I think I'll play Mutavault so we can eventually attack with it. I'll attack, and then I'll play Enduring Curiosity to draw 2 cards here. Looks like they might have a removal spell for one of our creatures. Maybe it's not strong enough to kill Curiosity. Okay. Finally drew a island or swamp to make this Gloomverge a double land here. I am willing to block. Ooh. They didn't. I can Tishana's Tidebinder the ability here. So pay 2 life. Make this a 2/2. And then if they block one of our 2/2s, we can just Fatal Push away the Nemesis. Okay, so we'll go draw 2. If they do that there, I can counter this and save the Mutavault. Yeah, actually that might be better. And then that shuts off the Nemesis. And then we drew a Flood Pit's Drowner, so that's quite nice. Okay, they do Claim to Fame, but it looks like we can Fatal Push the Monastery Swiftspear. We can Flood Pit's Drowner the Screaming Nemesis. And then we can animate the Mutavault here and present 9 damage while drawing 3 cards. Ooh, another Drowner is good. I think I'm actually going to Otawara here so I can play out this Mist-Cloaked Herald. We're at 15 life. They got 4 cards. Yeah. They would need a hasty creature that can't be blocked or something and do some sort of sellsword line in order to kill us there. So how good would Thoughtseize have been there? I'm not quite sure. But now that we're on the draw, things like Test of Talent might not be as good as Spell Pierce. I mean, Test of Talent's great in removing the Claim to Fame. I want all of our removal spells. Yeah, maybe Thoughtseize is just not what I want here, and I just want to bring in the counter spells. So let's try this. Okay, I think this is keep. We have Fatal Push, and we have a turn to counter or Hexcatcher, and then turn 3 we can possibly ninjutsu in the Kaito. Okay, our opponent mulligans once. They're gonna go with the Thoughtseize here. I'm actually okay with that. That means they have less cards in their hand, and we have some plays to do. Okay, looks like they went for the Fatal Push there, but luckily we drew a 1-drop. This is a great candidate for Kaito to ninjutsu from. Here comes a Thoughtseize. Looks like they might go for the Kaito here. Okay. Well, I'll put this on Merfolk, and then I'll just pass here. They are low on cards, so hopefully this means we can counter something here that's irrelevant. Okay, another Heartfire hero. They can't attack, but thankfully we can use our mana nicely here. Alright, well, I'm just going to have this enter tap and pass the turn here. Okay, here's a Manifold Mouse. That means we can go for the Throated. Okay, they can give this double strike, which means we can't block properly anymore. Okay, so Test of Talent is proving to be quite problematic here, because now I can't really do anything. Yeah, so maybe Test of Talents was just the wrong sideboard card here, which is good to know, because we are just testing the deck. Okay, likely gonna give it double strike again. So I'm just gonna block here. I don't want to take 6 damage from that. Ooh, and another Hex Catcher. Not what we're looking for, unfortunately. There's a Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, our Test of Talents is proving to be quite useless here. Yeah, and unfortunately, we're just going to be taking, I think, 11 damage here. Yeah, and the Manifold Mouse was really strong here. Like, even if we Fatal Push it, yeah. So, good game to our opponent. We got Rock there. I think a learning point there was the Test of Talents was just useless against their deck. So, would have probably been better to just have these as Thoughtseize. Alright, sweet. See you in the next round. Okay, round 3 here. This looks like a keepable hand. We've got a possible Kaito here. Floodpit's Drowner into keeping up Tishana's Tidebinder is also something we can do. Looks like we might be against the Green Devotion deck. Okay, well, I'll probably just keep up the Floodpit's Drowner here. Ah, okay. Well, they're gonna be playing the Trailblazer. So we can either Tishana's Tidebinder that, or we can Kaito now. I kind of want to Tishana's Tidebinder it. So let's see if this works. The Kaito is a better clock. Okay, this I am willing to counter. So this one I think is what I would want to counter, right? So let's get Kiara. Okay, we have a Spell Pierce, which I like to... because it does get the... it can protect Kaito. So I'll attack here, see if they're willing to trade the Trailblazer. Unlikely. Okay, so we're gonna ninjutsu here. And then I think I'm gonna draw a card. Ooh, another Floodpit's Drowner is great here. And then we'll pass the turn. If they attack Kaito, I think I will trade. Ooh, Cavalier of Thorns. That's really scary. Okay, and I will trade here, I think. They can use their Kiara now.
Nature flows with vigor.
Ooh, and we can't really Spell Pierce that because they have 2 mana. So maybe it was better if we just played out the Mist-Cloaked Herald and block the Okay, we can Spell Pierce this at least. Okay, so we can Floodpit's Drowner here. We can plus, and then we can make a Mutavault and attack to kill Kiara here. Maybe going for the life total is better, but they have
The depths.
2 cards in their hand that could change the board state quite drastically. So hoping to... okay, looks like just Llanowar Elves. That's kind of good for us. They can get a really large Lair of the Hydra
Leviathans, octopuses, serpents.
by untapping the Nykthos here.
Let's get moving.
But... is that what they want to do? It looks like that is what they're going to do. What else does this do? Not much. Yeah, this one doesn't have trample. And I'll block with the one that can be blocked here. Okay, so I can... put stun counters on the Cavalier of Thorns here. But I think we'll attack first. Yeah, I think we'll put stun counters. We already kind of have enough action here.
You're not going anywhere.
We can Tidebinder something if needed. We can Flood Pit's Drowner, their Lair of the Hydra if they go for that. Okay, looks like they're going for the Lair of Hydra here, so I'm going to Flood Pit's Drowner it. It puts a stun counter it, so that's nice too. Okay, looks like they're just gonna pass here, so I'm gonna go tap one of their Llanowar elves. Okay, so I think we'll go Flood Pit's Drowner, their blocker. And then use Mutavault here. And then attack them. Okay, very nice. Able to get through that. So, against the green deck, I think Grafdigger's Cage and Damping Sphere is kind of what I'm thinking. Grafdigger's Cage, just in case they're playing that really expensive green spell that makes it so that they can get stuff into the battlefield. The other thing we can do is just Test of Talents it. But I think I'll do Test of Talents instead of Spell Pierce. No, Spell Pierce will be good against Kiora. So let's remove Grafdigger's Cage for now. And let's see, Thoughtseize I think will be good. Fatal Push and Go for the Throat can be good. I'm guessing Mist-Cloaked Herald really is just the weaker one here for what we're trying to do. So let's try this. Okay, we'll keep this because we do have a Fatal Push into a sideboard card here. Additionally, we can just keep up the Trickster. Okay, so we'll Fatal Push the Elves. Okay, looks like they're doing Invasion of Ixalan. I think we'll take this opportunity to do the Damping Sphere. We can also guarantee Kaito by trickstering anything they might have here. Okay, that might be better. Just that we can actually put a clock on them. So this one is a 2/3 if they have another land here. And then we can Kaito. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Okay, looks like they're not going for the Hydra here. This one gets to fight something, so we can evade that by doing Kaito stuff. Okay, looks like they just found another invasion here. They might be a ways away from doing anything with it, so let's go. Yeah, I'll shock this in. I'll attack, and then ninjutsu in the Kaito. And then we'll surveil 2 here. Okay, these are both pretty good. So I think I want the Test of Talents. We're going to be drawing both anyway. So we can do Damping Sphere plus Keep Up, Test of Talents, or Trickster. Our opponent's going for their third invasion of Ixalan, but it's not really helping them right now, I don't think. Yeah, so we'll put this on Merfolk. We get to attack here, and then I think I'll just surveil again. Yeah, I don't think I need the Spell Pierce, but I would love this Flood Pit's Drowner. Then let me Damping Sphere here. So now they can't really play big spells with Nykthos. I mean, they don't even have any Devotion to Green, so that's fine. They are aware that we have a Trickster. Okay, well, I'm gonna be mana efficient here and Trickster this Elvish Mystic. I'm not sure what possible instant spells they have, but luckily we have some cards here. I think I'm going to plus Kaito and then offer lethal next turn.
Just try to keep up.
Alright. Passing the turn here, we can offer lethal by putting 2 more power to the board here. Okay, here's a Cavalier of Thorns, but we've got Drowner, so that's just game. And yep, here comes Floodpit's Drowner. And then we'll Fatal Push here. And this is lethal, so we'll just attack in here. Not bad, able to pretty much play a very strong tempo game there. Our opponent spent a lot of their early turns doing Invasion of Ixalan, so they weren't really developing their board. They were basically just replacing cards in their hand, and they were very hesitant to play the Hydra because they didn't have a fight option early game since we had Kaito. So it was correct for us to play the early Merfolk Trickster there and get in a Kaito down as soon as possible. Awesome. Not bad. See you next round. Okay, round 4. We're on the play. Lucky us. Okay, we can keep this. I think I'll start with a Thoughtseize just to see what our opponent's up to. Ooh, okay, this looks like a go wide kind of deck. Let's go with the removal spell here, I think. Or this is probably better to get because that represents 3 power. Okay, well, I think we'll just Merfolk Trickster here. We can do it to block. So block here. And then next turn, we can Thoughtseize away one of their case here. Yeah. We unfortunately don't have double black here, so I can't Fatal Push. Okay, well, we'll pass here. Looks like they're going to utilize their clue tokens. Okay, well, I'll attack with everything here. Okay, they don't block at all, so we're going to Enduring Curiosity and draw 2 cards. Draw some lands there, would have loved to see something different. But it looks like our opponent's also trying to look for action here. Okay, we can use the Fatal Push on that. Yeah, let's go Underground River so we have a second black source. Yeah, let's go kill the Thalia here. And then make a Mutavault. And then we're just going to try and draw a lot of cards here. They can kill our Mutavault, but that's okay with us. We got plenty of lands. Ooh, and the Hexcatcher is great there. So they're out of artifacts to Gleeful Demolition, and they only have a 1/2, so that kind of worked out quite nicely there. I think against them, they're going wide, and we currently don't have anything in the sideboard to deal with go wide. I think I'll just bring in Test of Talents. Yeah, because it'll be good to use on maybe their Gleeful Demolition if we're able to have it in our hand early. I think Merfolk Trickster is the least thing I want here, because I'd rather have Unblockable in what they're doing. And if I go -2 more, then I'd rather have a flyer like Brazen Borrower. So let's try this. Okay, looking at this hand, I think we can keep this. Would love another land so we can possibly Kaito here. And then, we don't need to, what do you call that, Mist-Cloaked Herald quite yet. I'd rather keep up Spell Pierce for Gleeful Demolition, which they did have. Okay, there's a Warden. Thankfully, we can keep that in check by playing the Drowner. Or killing it with the Fatal Push, which I think is what we'll do. So, we'll Fatal Push the Warden here, and then play the Mist-Cloaked Herald. And then, really hoping for a third land here that can produce blue or black, so we can Kaito. Okay, they're able to have quite the board here. So, Kaito's not that good anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, well, I'm not blocking, so I'll just attack here. And then we can Flood Pitch Drowner the Knight. But things aren't looking so good right now. We can also Flood Pitch Drowner the Kythian. But I think I'll go for the Knight. They can't attack with the Kythian because I can trade the Drowner for it. But I think we are quite behind here. Then looks like they're just going to Loxodon here. Yeah, and we don't have anything to deal with go wide strategy, so this is going to be very problematic. This is quite a lot of power, and we don't have that much defense against it. Yeah. Okay, well, let's just go to game 3 here. Okay, so I'm wondering how else can we combat them. I think Test of Talents might not be it anymore. And I just want to bring back the Merfolk Trickster. Yeah, let's try this. We don't have a good sideboard against them, so we're gonna just make do with what we have. Okay, game 3 on the play. Unfortunately, can't keep this because of no colored mana, so we're gonna mulligan. This is better. I think we'll probably have to put away the Enduring Curiosity because we're quite a ways away from casting that. Then let's start off with the Thoughtseize. So, going... I think we go for the Enduring Innocence here. That's just such a problematic card for us to deal with. We can deal with the Gleeful Demolition by either playing Hexcatcher or Spell Pierce. Okay, well, I think we're gonna Spell Pierce this. I probably should have played the Mist-Cloaked Herald then, but looks like we'll be able to do both. So if they attack here, I can block with a 2/2. Ooh, that's rough. And then we'll go Flood Pit's Drowner. Get this. Okay, so I think I'll go Mutavault. We do have to start attacking here. Ooh, and they made the mistake of only blocking with one. Here's a Thraben Inspector. They get to draw a card, and they have 2 mana up for their clue. I think drawing a Fatal Push would probably be good here. Okay, so not quite what we wanted. Let's attack with all except the Hexcatcher. Okay, we get to kill something here. And then I'll just pass. Okay, they get to do Invasion of Gobakon, but luckily we only have a land in hand here. And here comes the Gleeful Demolition. I think I will sacrifice... Yeah, I might have to sacrifice the Mutavault here. Just because the Mist-Cloaked Herald is unblockable. I guess I do have to block here. And then hope we get Kaito. Ooh, we did get the Kaito. So we'll get to attack here. Kaito. And then they can kill Kaito. So I think I'm gonna Surveil here. Ooh, these are both good, I think. No, I think I just want the Hexcatcher. Then we can protect Kaito with this Herald. They need another land to do Den of the Bugbear. Looks like they're gonna use 2 mana here to use a clue. Ooh, and they had to Get Lost. Okay. Well, that gives us an opportunity to get a really big Mist-Cloaked Herald here. But... okay. Do we have lethal? I don't think so. So I don't think I actually even use the map token there. And then
I love a dramatic
I'll surveil. Ooh, both of these are pretty good.
weakness.
I would love a land, though. Okay. I think we just keep up this Fatal push. And the plan is to just protect this Kaito. Okay, they're gonna draw a card. Okay, well, we get to Fatal Push here. Ooh, and it looks like we're able to navigate through that. We even drew a Spell Pierce to help protect whatever they might have to deal with Kaito, but luckily they didn't have a Get Lost during their turn, so... Ooh, not too bad there. Kind of got scary with the Enduring Innocence, but luckily they were willing to trade it with our Hexcatcher. So, not bad. I'll see you at the last round. Okay, last round. We're on the play. Lucky us. Unfortunately, can't keep this. Only a one-lander. This is looking much better, but this is a very slow hand. And I'm only okay kind of keeping it because we're on the play. So I'll keep it and then put away an underground river. Start off with a tapped watery grave and then pass the turn. Ooh, okay, looks like a Selesnya deck. This could mean maybe Collected Company is in the future here. And then an Enduring Innocence. Well, we're just gonna keep up our Tidebinder. They probably think we're a control deck right now. So if they have a fourth land, that's unfortunate. Okay, but thankfully it looks like they don't have a Collected Company. So I'm gonna Tishana's Tidebinder this. Let's see, our opponent seems to have something here. Ah, interesting. Well, we at least get to prevent them from drawing a card here. So that's nice. We can't quite Fatal Push that. I think we just keep up the Tidebinder that we have. Okay, they have the mana to pay for Collected Company getting Spell Pierced here. But it looks like they have a Skyclave Apparition, so we're just gonna Tishana's Tidebinder that. Okay, looks like they're attacking for 2 here. We're okay just taking 2. Okay, well, they get their Enduring Innocence back. We get to put this on Merfolk. And then we kind of have to see if we're willing to bring in Kaito here. I can bring in Kaito and then just tap down the Innocence. Because the Spell Pierce is kind of not doing anything anymore. Yeah, let's attack here. I want to see how they are willing to block. Okay, they're willing to do all of these. Alright, well, this means we get to Kaito this one. And then we get to Fatal Push the Skyclave because our Tishana's Tidebinder left. And then they have, I think, enough mana to kill here, so let's make them attack everything towards Kaito here and lose 3 mana for their turn, basically. Ooh, but they had the Skyclave Apparition, so they are able to get our Tidebinder there. And they get to sweep up the Kaito. Okay, so momentum is pretty good in their favor. I think we just have to pass here. Okay, so I can play the Shauna's Tidebinder here. And then I think I'm just going to block a Llanowar Elves here. We're still at a pretty high life total. Ooh, here's a Brutal Cathar. So that means we can at least Fatal Push the Brutal Cathar now. Get back the Tidebinder and counter the Enduring Innocence. So we get to Kaito here. Yeah, I think we Kaito here. And then I kind of want to just draw cards. Ooh, this is pretty good. Love the Drowner. So we'll keep that up. And yep, no problem for Thalia. And then we're just going to Floodpit's Drowner the Enduring Innocence here. But they had the Aven Interrupter. So unfortunately, I think we just don't have a good force to come back from this. But we'll keep trying. We can Floodpit's Drowner the Aven Interrupter and then keep up Tidebinder as well. Yeah, so let's do Floodpit's Drowner. Oops, I guess we can't use it? Okay. Not sure why. Maybe something to do with the... Oh, because I think it got plotted differently here. So let's go... Deshana's Tidebinder. Okay. And then I think we'll go Hexcatcher. Counter this. And then we can block here, maybe? Okay, we have access now to the Floodpit's Drowner. So we just have to pass here. Ooh, another Enduring Innocence. And then a Brutal Qatar. Yeah, that gets a... Oh, it's nighttime right now. Okay. So in that case, we'll go Merfolk Trickster. Put it on the Enduring Innocence. And then still can't Flood Pitch Drowner? Okay, I'm definitely missing something here, unfortunately. So how come I can't play it? Oh, because plot is only sorcery speed? Oh, okay, I see. That's my bad. Alright, good to know. So against them, I think Grafdigger's Cage and Test of Talents are probably better than Spell Pierce plus something like the Mist-Cloaked Herald. Maybe Brazen Borrower can be good here. Yeah, because it is a flyer and can block their interrupters. So let's play that. Okay, game 2 on the play here. Ooh, unfortunately can't keep this one. It's a one-lander. This is much better because we have Fatal Push, but it's still pretty bad if we don't draw another land. So unfortunately we're gonna have to mulligan down to 5 here. Okay, we can keep this and then put away 2 lands here. Yeah, so unfortunate that we had to mulligan there, but like I said, we're just really testing today. I think Collected Company's probably the best thing to get here. Or their Elvish Mystic. Yeah, the Elvish Mystic makes it so that they can't cast their 3 drops on turn 2. So I kind of like that. And then here we'll just Hexcatcher. And then attack here. Pass the turn. They can Brutal Cathar our... Oh, okay. They're gonna go for this. I think we're gonna Blood Pitch Drowner it. Fatal Push is nice here. I'm almost tempted to use the Drowner to shuffle away their Enduring Innocence. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. I mean, we have a lot of Fatal Pushes. So, attack here. See if they're willing to trade. Okay, no. We'll pass. Okay, well, I think I will... Yeah, I might have to block here. No, let's take 4 for now. At least for the first one. They're gonna gain 4, but I'm more scared about what they might have here. Oh, okay. Mutavault's great. We'll attack here. And then they're probably gonna put in their Werefox. Okay. Okay, and then we get to Fatal Push here. They don't have the 4th mana quite yet, so we're gonna make this a 3/3. And then block here. There's a Werefox Bodyguard. So, going for this again, but we get to do the same play here. where we Fatal Push. Okay, so now they're only gaining 2 life per turn. Would love another Hex Catcher here. Okay, well, no other Hex Catcher here, but I think we have to go on the offensive and attack here. And then we'll pass. So it's not really looking good for us. Our opponent has so much cards here, and they have a collected company that they were also trying to do. Okay, here comes a Voice of Resurgence, so now's the time to Fatal Push their Skyclave Apparition. Okay, Flood Pit's Drowner means we get to get this Enduring Innocence. And get to attack for 5 here. But it's looking pretty grim because our opponent has a fistful of cards. So they can, like, collected company here. Yeah, they can do this. And I don't see how we can push in this last 5 points of damage. I think maybe Brazen Borrower. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go down to 2 here, and like I said, I don't see us coming back from this. Yeah, and a Test of Talents, so I haven't been really impressed with this card. Good game to our opponent. It looks like we need to have something to deal with all of our opponents having go wide strategies. So let's think about that next time then. All right, not bad. I'll see you at the outro. And there you have it, guys. Ended up going 3 and 2, which I don't think is bad at all. So we made the majority of our entry feedback, and I learned a lot in terms of playing this deck. I think the sideboard needs a lot more work, so I'm gonna have to really start looking at what other Dimir players are possibly doing for their sideboard and how to deal with go wide strategies in general seems to be a weakness of the Dimir deck. So, hoping to at least learn and copy some technology from a lot of other players. And yeah, really enjoyed the Merfolk synergies here. I think this type of deck works really well in um, this metagame. I think the Dimir Aggro probably benefits a lot more from having their really low curve creatures, where we benefit from having our, we have more 2 drops than they do, but that's still enough to ninjutsu in a Kaito, or have enough candidates for Kaito to be ninjutsued in. And we have a bit more of a disruptive game plan, so our pressure is not as good compared to the Dimir Aggro deck in the early game, but our synergies, I think, make it just way more disruptive, which I really like. So Mutavault has been impressing me. I think Spell Pierce and Go for the Throat are pretty nice to have. I think I just have been sideboarding wrong. So I'm going to review my games and see what I can do to do better, in addition to bolstering up the sideboard here. So thank you guys so much for joining for this test run in this Dimirfolk. really excited to grind some games tomorrow and see if we can qualify for the weekend. But if not, it's totally okay. Totally just happy to be playing Magic. So really appreciate you guys being here. Hit that like button, drop a comment. Would love your subscription. Nevertheless, just happy that you're here. So thank you so much. What else can I say but have a great day?